Hi, Charles here from Fresh Start Solutions. Today I'll be talking about the question about your vehicle, about your car. The question is, will I lose my car if I go bankrupt? There are circumstances where you will be able to keep your car even when you're bankrupt. If you look on our website, you may have seen things like there are a certain amount of value that a car can have even while you're bankrupt. So in other words, there is a threshold of vehicle value, and I use those words very carefully because we'll talk about it a little bit more later, that you can have while you're bankrupt. It's a little bit over $7,000. Okay, so let me explain. A simple way to understand it is you can own a car outright up to the value of $7,200, even while you're bankrupt. Okay. Now, let me talk to you about how that value is assessed. The trustee views the value of a car not at a retail price, you see it in a car in a nice new shiny car yard, but at the price, essentially the wholesale price, or the price a car dealer will give you for that car. If you went into a car yard today in your car and said, how much would you give me cash for this car today? So that's sort of considered the wholesale value. Generally what will happen is the trustee will take your car and sell your vehicle through an auction. They'll tow it away and sell it through an auction. And car dealers or other buyers will buy it for what we call the wholesale value. So that's how you work out the value of your car. The reason the value of the car is important is because there is restrictions on how much the value of the car can be, as I've already said. There's another thing to remember. It isn't that you can't own a car worth $7,000 as a bankrupt. It's that you can't own a car worth that has more than $7,000 equity in it. So for example, and here's a way you can keep your nice new car that you just bought. Let's say a year ago, you signed up a loan for a nice car. You use it for work every day. You need a good car to work. So you've gone out and bought a car worth $30,000. You had no deposit and you did it on 5% finance. And you're facing the possibility of going bankrupt and you're worried about having an old car to drive around in for your work. So here's how it works. What will happen is the trustee will say, well, what is the wholesale value of that car a year in? Say you bought a car for $30,000 and after a year you'd paid $3,000 off that car. Okay, so now you owe $27,000. However, that car that you bought brand new for $30,000 is worth less, in fact, than the amount you still owe. It's probably worth $23,000, $22,000. Okay, so in reality, your car is in a negative net equity position, or in other words, you owe more on it than it actually is worth. So how the trustee views that is, well, technically that car is actually worth nothing. But let's say, keep it simple, let's say that your car at a wholesale value is worth $30,000 and you owe $23,000 on that car. Well, that means you can still keep that car even if you're bankrupt, okay? Because the value of the vehicle is actually only $7,000. So I hope that helps clarify motor vehicles and cars that you can own even while you're bankrupt, and understanding that the point of what the trustee's job is to realize any assets or to sell assets to help pay back the debt that you are in. Okay, so the value of the vehicle mustn't achieve or go more than $7,200. If you have any more questions about cars or any other, you might have a different sort of vehicle, you've got a few vehicles or anything like that, just simply give us a call on 1300-818-575 and talk to one of our consultants and they'll walk you through all the different things and questions that you have. I hope this helps, and if you have any other questions, just browse around our website. You'll find all sorts of things we talk about. Thanks again.